Hello, class, and welcome to the second week of class. I hope everybody is doing well. I would like to go over today some of the guidelines that we have for your next assignment that's coming up. You guys had to read chapters 8, 9, and 10, which hopefully gave you a pretty good overview of what technical writing entails, how it is different than most other types of writing, how it works, and as well as the persuasive elements of it. Um, I'm going to be going over exactly how you are going to be doing your assignment, which is in the blog portion of. If you go to Blackboard and you go to the Tools section, it is in there. There's a link that says blog, and then the instructions are contained within. But this is a graded item, so it is something that, although it's a fairly entertaining project, especially as we get into the the response that you will have for your fellow classmates, as well as them to yours. It's fun, but I still want to make sure that you understand that the goal is to begin practicing um, translating something from one genre, not technical writing. In this case, it's a lyric or a jingle or something like that, and you're going to be translating it to technical writing. In order to translate it from one genre to the other, you have to really understand how each genre works, if that makes sense. Just like in order to translate from one language to the other, you have to know um, you have to be able to speak, to read, and to write in those languages. The same is true when translating from one genre to the other. So I'm going to have you guys look very carefully at how you're crafting these. To begin, I'd like to go over a few little bits of housekeeping before we start into the lecture. And by the way, I'm not going to be talking for very long today. I'd like you to, instead of sitting here listening to me, I'd rather have you actually out there working on your projects and practicing technical writing. Remember to take this time to really slow down. I know you guys have a lot of stuff going on in your lives and whatnot, but when you're writing, when you're doing these exercises, really slow down and allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to really get to know the topic, get to know the genres. Um, Learning often learning should come with a good amount of mistakes. Um, that's why I'm allowing you to, as I stated earlier, allowing you to revise your work at least once for my course for a better grade. Um, so the syllabus, I've been getting some emails about the syllabus, and it is my mistake partially that um, when I put the syllabus together, a lot of the guidelines on there are for a face-to-face course. So we do not meet at any specific times. We do not meet at any physical locations, even though it does say so in the syllabus. I made a mistake, and I have to learn from that. And you're going to learn from it too, because since I made a mistake in my technical writing, it made you, the audience, confused. And it made you think that you needed to take action on something that didn't need action to be taken on. So that's my fault, and I apologize. And yeah, so I apologize. Um, I need to get the point values together for everything that you do in this course. I want to make sure that you know as we go along how much each thing that you do is worth from a point value standpoint. So I'm going to be emailing you guys or I'll embed it into Blackboard. I'm going to put how much each project is worth. That way you know that that your work is being graded and that you're not just doing work for the sake of doing busy work. The last thing I want to give you is busy work. Okay, so um, if nobody has any questions, and if you do, please email me. I've been fairly lax in email lately. I've been kind of overloaded with emails, to be honest with you. So if I haven't responded to you to a question that you had, it isn't any sign of disrespect from me. It's just this time of the semester is fairly difficult. Also, if Sundays are a very difficult time to get a hold of me. I like to keep Sundays. I'm a very busy person. My wife is a very busy person, and we try to keep Sundays for us. So if you need to get a hold of me on Sunday, chances are you're not going to. So I just want to make that clear. Okay, so remember to submit your assignments by February 4th to the course blog. The instructions are in the blog. To post to the blog by clicking on create blog post by February 4th at no later than 11:59 p.m. Actually, the ability to post will be actually turned off. I have it on there so you can't, once that time ends, you're not able to add to it. These should be about no less than one double spaced page, even though most technical writing is generally single spaced. Your final projects will be double spaced as well. So I will let you know if something is to be single spaced or double spaced beforehand. Generally, I like double spaced so I can comment on the margins, but since this is an online class, I'm not going to be doing any writing within the margins. I'll be commenting on your papers either through ScreenFlow, which is the program that I'm using right now, or through Google Docs, where I'm going to be actually commenting very carefully. Okay, so as far as the grading is concerned, how this one is going to be graded, in your book, and you guys should have the Mike Markle's Technical Communications book. On the latest edition, there are checklists on page 222 and 254. That's chapters 9 and 10, that have basic guidelines of standards for technical writing, as far as the sentence structure is concerned, the argumentative structure is concerned, and the how should I say this, the general format. If you do not have the latest version, there are checklists in there, but they're going to be in different pages. So check the ends of the chapters. Use those as your guidelines. When after you've written your document, you go over that to make sure that you've done everything correctly. How well is it written? I'm going to be grading your essays, not your essays, but your documents, using these guidelines as a rubric. So that's the standard I'm going to be holding you to. Even though some of you guys are going to be doing things that are fairly humorous, you're still going to want to write it as a very professional document that you would use in a professional format. So really carefully translate it from the lyrical to the technical. Make sense? Okay. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the basic structure of persuasion within technical writing. Some of you guys are doing feasibility reports in which you're going to have to persuade an audience about a particular issue. You're first going to have to persuade that the issue is actually a problem, that it's something that needs to be taken care of, that there is a problem and there needs to be at least work towards a solution. So you're going to have to be persuasive in that. So it is argumentative in a way. A lot of times we think technical writing is just very boring, dry, just information. But you still have to be somewhat persuasive in it. And check your book. This is the basic structure of your of technical arguments. So you have the evidence, the proof that there is something, the idea that something is a problem. And then you have your reasoning, the logic by which you use to convey this particular problem, the particular situation, or the particular solution. And then you add those together, and you come up with the claim. Hang on just 1 second, please. I'm actually going to be using the words of the book. You know, the evidence is the facts. Look at that, I got another typo. The facts or judgments that support your claim. So why is it that you believe this particular thing? The reasoning is the logic that you use to derive the claim from evidence. Remember, in your book, there is on page 193, there is a table that lists a bunch of logical fallacies. That's one thing that you're really going to have to be very wary of, the different logical fallacies that are out there. Because a lot of arguments that go on today, whether it be in the media or interpersonal arguments, are actually built upon logical fallacies. And the reason why a lot of times people fall for things is because they're not able to identify when they're being fed a logical fallacy. So I want you to look up in page 193. I could go over it with you right now, but it would be much easier for you to just go to the book and look at what it is. I'm going to have a quiz pretty soon. Within the next couple weeks, you're going to have a quiz that's going to be on these chapters. Part of that quiz is going to be identifying, or, I haven't decided what yet, or creating logical fallacies. You have to know what they are. That's really important. And then you have the claim, the basic idea that you are attempting to communicate. The evidence plus the reasoning equals the claim. Aristotle would have called this the enthymeme. Some of you guys, back to Aristotle, recognize this. Actually, all of you. If you passed English 111, I can almost guarantee you know of this. Ethos, pathos, logos. Back to this. Evidence, reasoning, claim. You have your ethos, you have your pathos, you have your logos, the logic behind why you feel a certain way. I hope you guys never forget the rhetorical triangle. Okay, as far as your writing is concerned, you want to make sure that you're creating a neutral, balanced, professional ethos as a technical communicator. The goal is to not sound smart. The goal is to convey information in a clear and effective manner. Subject plus verb plus object. It should be very, very simple writing. Don't use complex words if you don't have to. You're not trying to impress people with how smart you are. Create lists when appropriate and preferred. Graphics if you feel that that's a more effective way of communicating, or any way that you can get information as efficiently and effectively as possible. Go for it. And break your documents up into sections and subsections. You should never have your audience try to or have to search for information. That the information that you're trying to convey should be conspicuous, meaning it should be right out there in the open where they can see it. You're giving them information quickly and carefully. In other words, as a former colleague here at UAA said, keep your ideas complex but your writing simple. If you can convey massive amounts of very complex information to a wide array of education levels, economic levels, age levels, then you're doing a good job. Okay, but you have to understand who you're writing to, and that's part of chapter 8, analyzing your audience. And when we get in the professional portfolio, you're going to be analyzing your audience a lot more. So we'll get into that.